My dudes, today is an exciting day. Today is a monumental day because I finally get to upgrade and actually upgrade my 2012 Mazdaspeed 3. What is going on, my dudes? James here, and we are going to be doing some upgrades on Blue Lightning, my Mazdaspeed 3. I'm so excited. I found this guy on the internet. Anyways, he had a 2012 Speed 3 that he had done a whole lot of stuff to and blown up the motor. And he decided that it wasn't worth it to rebuild, and he ended up going with a different car build after that. And so he's parting it out. And luckily enough, I came across his ad. And so we got a box of goodies to go through today and start working on some of these to install. This video specifically, as you've probably already seen from the thumbnail and all that sort of stuff, we're going to be installing specifically the rear motor mount. There's going to be 3 videos in this part because I have all 3 motor mounts, well, both motor mounts and the transmission mount. The rear motor mount is from COBB. So obviously they are used. It is not the prettiest looking thing, but I will say that this bushing is in fantastic shape. There's no cracks, there's no tears, there's no like serious wear to it, just a little bit of dust and grime from being underneath the car for who knows how many miles. All right, no longer need that. So yeah, today we're going to be installing the COBB rear motor mount. It's not difficult. It does require you to get underneath the car, and but it's only like 3 bolts, or maybe it's 4. I don't know, but I'm really excited. So I don't really know what to expect. It should not be difficult. There's really only a couple of parts to it. So I'm gonna get the car jacked up from the front. I'll get a couple of jack stands up underneath the frame on the front, and you only need to get it up just enough so that you can get a little bit of leverage in there. I'm probably gonna need a breaker bar because these are the factory mounts and they are on there. I'll get the sizes for all the bolts that we're gonna need once we get down there too. But yeah, so I'm super excited about this. This is gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm not gonna bother doing any sort of like test drive with the factory mounts or anything like that. I've been driving on them for a year, and I've got 97,000 miles on this car, so they're old and they're worn. I don't know what to expect for how this is going to make the car feel, or how the shifting is going to feel, or anything like that. So at the end of this video, there's going to be a little drive around. I'll have the GoPro set up so you can see like my reaction on first startup and all that sort of stuff, and then we'll go for a drive. And I will be doing that after each motor mount. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the car jacked up and see what type of bolts we're looking at pulling out. Now that we got the car jacked up, we're gonna go ahead and take a look under the hood, so to speak. Even though we're not gonna open the hood at all. I'm pretty sure we're going to need some sort of a crescent wrench, because I think one of the bolts has a nut on the back that you have to hold in place. The new COBB mount looks like it's fully captured, so I don't think we have to worry about that too much. It's always a good idea to just kind of like look around when you're down here. Let's take a peek, see if anything looks weird or strange. Like 19 and 17 millimeter. Of course I don't have a crescent wrench that's a 19 millimeter. Why would I? It's really tight in here, especially with a camera that has a microphone on top. But, so the front of the car is that way. So that is the back over there. And if we look, here's the engine right here. Here's the oil pan, which is on the passenger side of the car. And then if you go straight back, this is the engine like mount, engine side mount, whatever you want to call it. And then that right there is the mount we're going to be replacing. Okay, so we're going to have to loosen all 3 of these bolts. All 3 of them are 19 millimeter. So we're gonna have to loosen all of them, and we're gonna have to loosen and remove this bolt right here, which is a 17 on the one side, and then the side that you have to get a wrench on is a 19, which I'm just gonna use an all 16ths or an adjustable crescent wrench for those of you that don't know. And then also this one right here is also 17. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts that we're loosening, and then we're removing all except for, I want to say probably this one. I don't know, one of these you don't really have to remove. You just need to be able to wiggle it enough to be able to pull this mount out of the way. Man, look how rusty this subframe is. That's disgusting. That. Yeah. The bushing's a little cracked. It'll be alright. Ew. Man, I really want to take off this entire subframe and clean it up. Let's do a little side-by-side comparison here, shall we? So, don't mind the rust. Here is the old motor mount, and it's disgusting. Wow. And also, look at that. I can push and move it by hand. You can see, hopefully, the lines where all the dirt and stuff on the rubber has been pushed away from it flexing under the weight of the engine. I guess that's something I could have done. Whenever I rev the engine with this old mount in, it moves a lot. So I'm hoping that'll be fixed with this new one, because there's the new one and there's the old one. Pretty big difference. We're going to go ahead and get this new one in. I will say, though, that the COBB mount has a hex bit, or like a Allen key, and I don't know where my Allen keys are. So I got to go find those, and I'll be back. So it would appear that the new COBB mount bolt is a 10 millimeter. Ooh, something else I want to get. I'm going to get some thread locker, some red Loctite, just in case. So I'm just going to throw the red Loctite on here before we torque them down. So, per the Mazda manual, when I put these bolts on and I torque them down, I need to torque them down in a certain order, so that little silver metal mount that the rear motor mount attaches to, you start with those 3 bolts, and you torque those down to... It says 54 to 66 foot-pounds, so I'll probably just go 60 foot-pounds for those 3. And then you bolt down the one that goes into the cross member, and that one is 70 to 85 foot-pounds, so I'll probably just do 80. And then you do that last one, which is the one between the 2 mounts, and that one is the same 70 to 85, so I'll just do 80. So I'm going to go ahead and get this bolted in and torqued down, and I will see you when I get done with that. So full disclosure, my dudes, I'm going to put you up here. I didn't get a torque wrench in there. Technically, I did get a torque wrench in there, but it didn't do anything because my torque wrench is cheap. Ooh, you're going to fall. My torque wrench is very cheap, and the degree of like operation, like when it clicks, how far it'll go, is kind of garbage. So I legitimately could not get it to click. So like I could get the wrench on there, and then you know how you're like adjusting it to tighten, and it's ratcheting so it clicks as you go to the next tooth inside of the ratchet. Well, it was such a small space to move it, and the torque wrench is so long that I could not get it to click at all. I tried raising the car even more, it didn't work, so I just put my, magic wand, the breaker bar on it, and I gave it about 80 foot-pounds torque. My calibrated arm, you know what I'm saying? Which is totally not okay, but you know what? It'll be fine. Oh man. Alrighty. We have the rear motor mount in from COBB, which is supposedly quite the upgrade from stock. So we're going to go ahead and start the car, see how it feels. I don't know what to expect, and I'm really excited, but let's see. All right. I might be feeling more vibration from the car than I did before. I think I am. That could be a placebo though. I say we need to go for a drive. I do feel... I feel less shake. Like before, whenever I would press the gas, I would feel a shudder on the car, which was very apparent under the hood because you could see the engine flex. I'm kind of... Whoa. Okay, that is much more pronounced. If I dump the clutch, not like dump it, but sometimes I don't get it just right when I let it out, so it doesn't get as much of a feather and it's a much harder connection. That was a much louder reaction to that than what it's been before. I definitely notice a little bit of a difference. Like I said, I think there's a little bit more vibration, and which it should be. There should be more vibration at idle because the engine mount is stiffer than what the factory one is. As you saw, I could bend the factory one. This COBB mount, there's no bending that. Also, I think the COBB mount is polyurethane as opposed to the original mount being made out of some form of regular, just like rubber type of thing. Oh man. Well, okay, I like this. I like this a lot. When you start like really hammering on it and you get a little bit more aggressive with the shifts, it's definitely smoother and wow. Awesome. Oh, this is sick. I'm so excited. Obviously, this is a really easy install. It probably took me about an hour, but that's because I'm filming at the same time, so I'm like trying to move the camera around, and I didn't have all my tools out or all that sort of stuff. So you guys, if you're watching this video alongside installing your own rear motor mount for your Mazdaspeed 3, hopefully you watch it to the end so that you can be like, these are all the tools I need, and you have them all out, and don't be like me. But even though it took me about an hour, it probably really only took like total work maybe 20 minutes. And the worst part was trying to get that stupid torque wrench in there. But yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, then please come back. I love doing upgrade stuff. I am a YouTube certified master auto technician. I don't know what I'm doing. All of this is just on a whim, Googling and looking at owner's manuals and factory manuals and that kind of stuff to try to see kind of what's right. But my Mazda is the introduction. Holy crap, that was smooth. Okay, this mount is amazing. Anyways, yeah, so I'm just some dude in my garage that is upgrading a car. It's my first ever manual that I've never had one before. I've never driven manual before I bought this car. So this is going to be a journey for me. I am doing stage tunes from COBB. So a lot of you are like, ah, boo, don't do stages, go to an actual tuner. Well, I don't have thousands of dollars to spend all the time. And the thousands that I do want to spend are going to be on things like a new exhaust. So I'm going to follow the COBB tuning off-the-shelf tunes on my access port. And the cool thing is now that I have the rear motor mount in, I can go with a stage 1 tune. But anyways, if you guys have enjoyed, then please come back and see me again. The next episode that'll be coming out here in a couple of weeks is going to be specifically the, whoop, let me not run over my tools. It's going to be either the transmission motor mount or the passenger motor mount. Sorry, transmission mount or passenger motor mount. It's going to be one or the other. I don't really know which yet. Doesn't matter. And then following that, I'm going to be doing the stage 1 tune. So it'll be noticing the differences between the stage 0 and the stage 1. I have some side-by-side type of things that I can actually give you a little bit more qualitative analysis on how those differ. And then hopefully I can find something from the COBB website that kind of goes more in depth on the actual differences between them. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. Super fun and easy to do. swapping the rear motor mount, and I'm really excited. That felt amazing. So I'm gonna keep cracking on this. I'm gonna start working on probably the passenger motor mount next, because that one's a little bit easier than the transmission mount. And then yeah, see you guys in 2 weeks.